Hi, Jim. Welcome to Funnel Vision Podcast. We're thrilled to have you on today to help, share your expertise and sales tips and advice with our community of sales professionals. So, start out quick. First question. What is the one go-to tactic that you swear by for building strong client, long-lasting client relationships, like your ultimate secret weapon?
Well, thank you for having me, Alana, first of all. Um, you know, there's an art to building trust. And one of the biggest arts of building trust is that you have two ears and one mouth. Listen, pay attention, have a conversation, be personal, be yourself, be upfront, be natural, and act on any commitments that you make and make sure you follow up quickly. Those are my primary go-tos, my secret weapons. They're not really all that secret, but they work 100% of the time.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And it's so interesting as we have these conversations. A lot of the things that we talk about are it, they're the basics, right? And people just needed to be reminded of those basic type of things, like be yourself, listen, have, want to understand what the person that you're talking to, like what their needs are, but really those basics of being trustworthy on authentic are so important.
People like to be
What's
recognized as people.
Yeah,
The moment you
I
recognize these
agree.
people, I had an incident last week, and the client I'm working with right now, where one of our sales reps came into the room, and he was concerned about going around the person he was dealing with on his project to his boss, and he says, "I don't want to feel like I'm neglecting Fred either." And I said, "So call him and ask how his kids are. Call him and ask how his New Year was." That's called building a relationship, and that goes. People like to buy from people they like. And if they don't like you, they probably won't buy from you. Things change these days. People like to be recognized as people.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. What's the best piece of sales advice that you've received and has shaped your philosophy, and who or where did it come from?
Well, it's developed over the years. I've learned to have a look. When I was in my late 20s, early 30s, I walked around with a hammer all my life. And if you walk around with a hammer, everything you see is a nail. And that's the only tool you have in your toolbox. Then I saw a change in my life and I decided to adopt servant leadership. And you can't be a leader without followers, and servant leaders get followed. If you try to make your philosophy about building a sales force lifting people up beneath you,
Hmm.
the proudest moment I ever had in my life was when I looked around a room one time of executives at a company I was working for, and 10 of the 11 other leaders that ran sales organizations in that organization had at one time reported to me in that organization. And that really showed the value of building up other people, and then the other thing is consultative selling, being a consultant. And it goes back to listening again. And the other thing is acting with courage and confidence. I see so many people that don't have courage and confidence when they're in a selling situation. They're not being the expert, the subject expert. You're there to help in most situations. The days of a product being what drives the sale are pretty much in the past, with a few exceptions. What drives the sale now is a confident person that has answers to someone's problems.
Absolutely. And I tell my team too, as a part of this, like having confidence and being an expert also doesn't always mean that you can answer every single question that somebody has. So you cannot be sometimes they're like, well, what if I don't know the answer to this question? I'm like, you're human. That's okay. Like it's about also saying, you know what? Let me research that for you. Let me find that out for you, and making sure that if you do that, you follow up and you actually do, get back to the person about their question. So it's not like to have confidence, you have to be able to, yes, you should be aware and know your product, know who your service, know what you're selling and the basics. But if there's a question that's outside of the norm, like it's okay too to still be confident and say, I don't know that. Like I will get back to you.
I would say that being able to make mistakes in front of people is the ultimate showing of confidence. Being
Right.
able to say, I don't know everything and I'm human. But the thing about it is, you hit on one of my things on the first question you asked me, was that you immediately act on that commitment as quickly as you possibly can.
Absolutely. That's the key. If you don't have to know the answer to every question, but if you tell somebody that you're going to get back to them about anything, make sure you follow up on it for sure. Uh, what do you think is the best investment a salesperson can make?
Anything that builds the soft skills that enable you to read the room and build trust. Um, that again, trust is so key. And I would say that, some people say you can't learn soft skills. I think you can. I think you try to adapt the things that you do in your personal life, or if your personal life's successful, you adapt the things that you do in your personal life that win for you there. I mean, when you think about how, everybody talks about not being able to sell and learning how to sell. We've all done it. Ever since you were 2 years old and you asked your mom for that extra cookie, you've been asking for the sale. And then you probably took it one step further, Mommy, give me that extra cookie and I'll give you more time to spend doing crossword puzzles at the table. That's called showing her the benefit of giving you that extra cookie. And those are the kind of things that can lead to your success. And again, it's about building trust, and it's about building commitment, and it's about acting on your commitments as usual.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you there too. Is that soft skills, if you have the potential and you have the desire to learn, soft skills can be taught. But you really have to have that like the drive and want to do that and want to learn. And because a lot of it is, it's not just sit down and like, you're not learning just a process. You're really learning how to read people. And it comes a lot from what you said in the beginning, which is so much of it is listening so that you know how to respond to people and you can kind of read beneath between the lines.
Make eye contact. Read the expressions on somebody's face. Read how they're reacting to what you say. And then do the same things back.
Hmm.
Be active in the conversation.
Right, exactly. And what's something that a salesperson should stop doing?
Talking too much.
Agree.
A buyer will tell you, and then talking at the right times, a buyer will tell you what he needs to make a decision. 9 times out of 10 in any, especially in a business to business relationship, because the reason he's in front of you and is willing to give you his time is that he has a problem that he needs you to solve. And if you listen to him very clearly, he'll tell you how to solve that problem. My favorite one was a couple of weeks ago. I heard a guy talking about a road that he was building, and he says, yeah, it's a poorly maintained road. It's a dirt road, and people chose to live back there, but we send school buses down by it, on it. And I'm like, there's your answer. You want your children, you're going to wait till your children slide off a dirt road into a tree, or are you going to fix the road tomorrow? And, the person did not get that cue, did not answer to it, did not listen to it, and did not act on it. And it was a good coaching moment, I would say. But if somebody will tell you what they need, you just have to listen and hear it.
Right, right. And what's a piece of advice that you wish you'd known earlier in your sales career, and how could aspiring salespeople apply that to their careers today?
Um, I don't know if there's anything new that we covered there other than being the subject expert. I mean, you cannot learn enough about the product that you're selling. There are many aspects of the things that it will teach that you can learn from that will be benefits of that product to help solve problems. Um, Being able to identify how all buyers are different and the different client needs, and those were all things. I mean, my first job was with a consumer goods company, and I had the same story for every customer. Once I recognized that there were different needs for different customers, I had a much higher degree of success.
Right, right. You might have the same product, you might have the same service, but it's fulfilling, a different need sometimes. Like the basic need might be the same, but the factors that surround that might be different. With the need for for whatever it may be. So absolutely, definitely makes a lot of sense. And who do you look up to as far as like, in sales or in your career?
In my career, it was my mentor at my very first company that I worked for. He he came in as president of our company at probably the midpoint of my career. He was able to manage the team by making you feel part of it. He used humor as a tool to keep you relaxed and a member of the team. And he also always had your back.
Mm.
If you made him, he was the kind of coach that would say, and I relate to my son's hockey coach, said to him one day, he says, Clark, you don't fall down enough. And my son looks at his coach and says, well, it's because I'm a really good skater. He says, no, you're not skating hard enough or you'd fall down more. And that's kind of what this person taught me. And that mistakes are okay as long as you use them to learn, and mistakes are okay as long as you don't let them destroy your confidence and your commitment to confidence.
Yeah, it sounds like that person has taught you a lot, in how you see the world and kind of how you have mentored people, that you've that have come after you in sales leadership roles too.
Well, yeah, not just sales leadership roles, but any leadership roles. I mean, as far as that's concerned, I mean, everybody serves at some point in their life, they're a leader, and learning from all kinds of leaders teaches you all kinds of soft skills.
Yeah, and that's exactly right, is allowing people the room to make mistakes because that's how you learn and that's how you grow. So if you're in a team where you feel like you absolutely cannot make a mistake or you're going to get in trouble, you're going to get berated, you have to be able to feel comfortable to make those mistakes so that you can grow and the team can grow.
I've had client situations where I've recognized that the CEO that I'm serving has he'll say, I'm gonna handle this, and I'm gonna handle this with this person. I'll go, I don't think that's the right way to do it. I'm gonna give him room to learn from it. You're gonna go in with your hammer because he's never put away his hammer, and you won't win this way. So
Right.
that's one of the things that carrying around that servant attitude does for you.
For sure, for sure. So Jim, tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and where can people find you?
Alana, my name is Jim LeDane. I'm an outsourced vice president of sales, which means that I help small businesses improve the sales function of their business by either building them sales infrastructure or coming aboard and becoming a member of their team and actually running their sales force. You can find me on LinkedIn under Jim with an L LeDane. And I'm easy to find because it's a very unusual name. If you meet another LeDane, I'm probably related to them. um, and you can also, like, the company I work for is called Golden Sales Consulting, but more importantly, we're on the platform that is Sales Acceleration, which is a platform that helps me be successful by having all the tools I need in order to guide your small business to new heights in revenue and sales.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for coming on Funnel Vision as our guest. I appreciate your time and all the advice you shared. Thank you.
Thank you, Alana.